So Kevin?
Right. Here's the first question that we got in, and this was submitted when you enrolled. As an importer / exporter, I would like to know exactly what is needed for my company to make transition smooth. Usually the broker / forwarding agent handles the AES 3461 and 7501 forms. So why would my company need a portal?
That's a great question. Reason number one is this. ACE is now considered the system of record. So a lot of you say, well, what does that mean to me? God forbid if something ever goes in front of the Court of International Trade or there's any trade-related cases. What will happen now is in the past, Customs would send the court paper documents. They would say, here's all this importer's 6,000 customs entries, and here's these big packets, and here are your 3 pallets worth of paper that just showed up. Now Customs sends them a link to your data inside of the ACE portal. So from my perspective, if that's the system of record, why wouldn't you want access to the exact same data?
That includes all the versions, right?
That is, yes. It shows the version control. It kind of walks you through everything that's going on. It'll also, there are some reports out there that will show you whether or not your broker is filing your entry summaries in ACE or ACS. So that's also important. Those of you who have multiple brokers, you can kind of run a report and look through each one of your entries and make sure that they are keeping up with the times right now. So from my perspective, that's the most important reason. And 2 is that way you have a little bit of control over what's being filed. You can monitor things much easier, because I think I saw another question here about, since ACE is paperless, what happens about that 7501, the 3461 that we didn't even talk about earlier, we just kind of made mention to? ACE by definition is paperless. So with it being paperless, that 7501 form that you get, while we've beat it into your heads as a service provider for the past 10, 20 years that you have to have these documents as part of your entry packet, Customs is kind of going away from that. And there's been a big push by the brokerage trade community to have Customs revise that A1A list in the regulations that says what is required for me to keep as my records. Because no longer is a 7501 and a 3461, a paper version, actually produced. So we still provide them to our clients. We provide 7501s and 3461s to make this transition simpler and easier. But technically, those forms don't exist. And I know it's going to be hard. It's going to take people a while to kind of get through that. But that's the other reason. As Customs moves into a paperless environment, without the portal, you do not know what the record is. Previously, when you had that paper 7501, that paper copy was the record, and no longer is that the official record.
So the answer then to that 7501 and 3461 then is inside the portal. They'll need to monitor their entry summary report and their cargo release reports,
because that's where they're getting all of that information now, not just the piece of paper that your broker sends as part of your billing packet.
Do you have any recommendations for specific reports people ought to look for that are kind of encompassing?
No, absolutely.
Data,
I think the very best report that's out there, there is a search feature in the portal, so you don't have to try to hunt this one down, is AM008. It's called the Entry Summary Detail Report. And that is a very nice report. It goes through every line item per entry on a 7501. It walks you through manufacturers, importers, EINs, MIDs, any tariff numbers used, reporting quantities, whether your broker filed it in ACE or ACS, whether or not how much duty was paid. And then you can actually modify those reports to add harbor maintenance fee and merchandise processing fee as well.
That's a great question, Chanae, so thank you for asking it.